Everybody, welcome back to Suburbs of Seattle. I'm your host, Andrey Gulyy, and today I want to have a little heart-to-heart with the sellers in Washington State right now. By the way, if you don't know, I am a licensed real estate agent here in Washington State. So if you are looking to buy or sell a home, feel free to reach out at the number below, and I would be honored to help you out. And also, I know this video is for the sellers, but buyers, if you are looking to set up a custom home search, feel free to visit my website down below and you can register there. So as soon as a home hits the market, you will see it. And it's very aesthetically pleasing. Tooting my own horn here, but you know what I mean. I think you'll enjoy checking out my website. Go check it out and let me know what you think in the comments. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get back to this video. So, want to have a little heart-to-heart with all the sellers out there in this market. I have quite a few conversations with sellers every single day. Some people are trying to sell, Andrey's at the top of the market, should we sell? As in the other video, same thing here. I tell people the same thing every single time. Look at your life situation overall and just do what's best for you. If you think it is the right time to sell based on like, hey, you know what? Maybe kids are out of the house already and, maybe I want a summer home in Florida, go check out some real estate there, or Tennessee. A lot of people moving to Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Idaho. I've had a ton of conversations. Personally know about 40 to 50 families that have moved out of this state and Oregon over there to the east. So, just kind of assess everything and say, hey, you know what? If it's a logical thing, kids are out of the house, or maybe you want to relocate your kids to a different state, better schools, or whatever the case is, if it is the right time to move based on your, situation, then let's have a conversation about what the market is doing. Now, interest rates are rising. Different interest rate, different day. Kid you not. Checked out last Friday, 4.9, went to 4.5, jumped up to 4.7. That's kind of the base, right? 5%. One of my buyers got 5.6%. Interest rates are all over the place. And why should you care as a seller? Well, because the higher the interest rate goes, the less affordable the market becomes for the average buyer. And the buyers are the ones who have your money, right? They're the ones who bring the money to the table and the lender pays you. So we should care about what the market is doing for the buyers to understand how you should price your home. So as the interest rate goes up, buyers' affordability goes down, which means then that you're most likely going to get less offers and less interest for your home, because I can tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, from personal experience with buyers, that a lot of the buyers are discouraged right now. Some of them stopped even looking because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna wait. I don't even know for what, but I'm gonna wait until something cools off because this is impossible. And that's the overall sentiment of the buyer's market right now. There are some exclusions to this, of course, if you have your home in areas like, Clyde Hill, where you're talking about millions of dollars for your home, and some other areas, right? There's a little bit different sentiment there going on with buyers. But if you're talking about, any home up to $700,000-800,000, you're gonna get a pretty similar reaction from the overall marketplace. Let's talk about pricing. There's only two reasons a house might not sell. It's condition or price. That's it. If your condition is great and you have a great home, it's fine if the kitchen cabinets are a bit older or whatever, but if it's a good, clean looking home, then the only thing that can stop you is price. If you happen, which is almost impossible in this market, but if it so happens that you sit on the market for a week with no offers, then you might start rethinking, hey, did we price too high? I wouldn't adjust the price right away. I would still give it a few weeks before making an adjustment, because the goal is to market it. That's where I come in, getting the photographers, blasting it out to hundreds of websites, right? But then we have to sit back and listen to how the market responds. So if our first week we get 30, 40, 50 people through your home, great. That's most likely going to yield a response of multiple offers, and then we can negotiate with the different buyers. However, if you're on the market for a week and you got nothing, zip, maybe 2 to 3 showings, probably overpriced. And the way that we determine price is like an appraiser does. I sit down with you, we look at the same website that an appraiser looks at, which is the Northwest MLS, and we pull out a radius around your home. And we look for similar properties. Now, no home is going to be the same, one and the same unless it's a new construction development. But we look for similar properties and we see what they sold for. And it's important to note how far back they sold. We try to look at the most relevant data in the last 30 days, not further, unless it's necessary. If we don't find any similar homes in a half a mile radius that sold in 30 days, then we go further out in radius and further back in the amount of days. That's exactly what an appraiser would do. And then we look for similar properties to understand what the value of your home could be. Now, what those properties sold for most likely won't be your list price, because there's 3 ways of pricing your home. Most people in this market price it below what the sold price is to try to get as much money as possible. You could price your home at what you believe market value is, which would be the sold price. So say take 800,000, instead of listing at 725, you list it at 8. And the goal here would try to be to get one buyer who gives you what you want and you walk away, right? If you want multiple buyers, multiple offers, you list it lower. But you never ever want to overprice a home. I know in some cases I've had with the odd cases where it's an interesting house or in an interesting location where it's like you can't find the right comparable property to compare it to even. Those, it's okay if they stay on the market for a little bit. But if you have a normal home in a normal neighborhood and you're sitting on the market for abnormal amounts of time, that's because you overpriced your home. That's it. That's the story at the end of the day. So you never want to overprice your home, because I guarantee you, you will get less than you expected to get for it in the beginning. I've had multiple situations. I'm the advisor, right? I sit down, I lay out the 3 pricing strategies, and I let you decide. But I've also have stories that I share with you in where we had people who had chosen to overprice their homes, and eventually, I had one situation where a gentleman, this was years back, gentleman wanted to price his home at 610. I told him it should be more priced around 520, 510, something like that. So he wanted to really overprice it. We sat on the market for a few months. We got an offer at that price that I told him I think we can get. He ended up not wanting to accept it. Months later, our contract actually expired. He ended up hiring another agent trying to sell it for the same price. Ultimately, he sold it for, what was that? I think like $70,000, $80,000 less than the offer I was able to get him. So that's what time does on the market. The longer your home sits on the market, the more people look at it like something's wrong with it. People are gonna be, man, this house has been on the market for how many days? And no offers? Something's wrong with it. Let's lowball these sellers, cut off the legs, and I mean, that might be pretty gruesome, but you get what I'm saying. Like, that's the buyer sentiment of houses that sit on the market for a long time. So you don't want to be the odd one out sitting on the market forever, unless you just don't really care about selling, which at that point, why is that even on the market, right? So anyways, like I said, I'm going to have a heart-to-heart with you. This is what we're doing. So, like I said, condition and price, those are the 2 key things. As far as staging your homes, what furniture we should use, should we do this or that? We'll cover all of that when I come out to your house for a first appointment. I would do a checklist. We walk through the house. I share with you what I think you should put away into storage or into the garage, what furniture you should keep. If you're leaving, maybe we just stage everything or we leave it vacant, right? I never want to leave a house halfway. You never want to have, a half vacant, half staged house. That just looks lonely and depressing. Believe me, I've seen some pictures where it's a vacant house and there's a chair in a corner. It's like, bro, like what? Like, that's the most depressing picture I've ever seen. So, yeah. Either fully vacant or fully staged. Those are the 2 solutions if you're looking to stage a house properly. And staging, remember, buying a home is all about emotions. That's how buyers think. That's how I thought when I bought my first 2 places, right? Buying a home is all about emotions. Staging invokes emotions. People can sit down. Hey, you know what, honey? I could see us living here. The kids can go run in the playroom or whatever, right? that's what we want to get out of the buyers. We want to get some emotions going, so then they get attached to the home and want to write a good offer for you. Or leave it vacant and allow their imagination to go wild. Whatever you do, those are the two best choices for you. And there are some exceptions to that. You know, if a house is too big, you don't want to leave it vacant, then it just looks really sad and lonely. You know, so overall, staging is best, and more times than not, you're gonna get a lot more money than you put into it for the staging of that property. So these are some tips. If you are a seller in Washington State, feel free to call me at the number below. I'd love to do a free consultation to see what your house is worth, what you need to do to get it up on the market, and then we can go from there. I'd be honored to help you out. Call me at the number below. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.